The Mississippi River offers beautiful, breathtaking scenery right in our own backyard. One of the best ways to take in the views is by spending some time on the river. Now imagine you are spending that time enjoying the river, but not on a big riverboat or even in a small canoe, but by just floating down the river on a paddleboard. Austin Aho is the founder of Stand Up Minnesota, and after spending a few years away from his home state, he decided to come home and fell in love with the river.
I lived in the Twin Cities my whole life, and I grew up here, and I had never really been on the Mississippi River. After I graduated college, I moved abroad for 4 years, and when I came back, I realized there was this amazing resource in my own backyard that I had never been on before.
Austin's company offers tours down the river several times a week. The tour covers 6 miles of riverway, from Fridley down to Boom Island Park in Minneapolis. The tour takes about 2 hours to complete and is led by an experienced guide.
And our guides, I'm usually one of them, will interpret the river for people, teach them about different aspects of the river and the wildlife.
Paddleboarding is an activity that most people are able to enjoy, and Stand Up Minnesota invites everyone to come out on their tours.
We get all shapes and sizes to come out paddling with us. Beginners and experts are definitely welcome and encouraged to come. We've had pregnant women, we've had the Minnesota Lynx, we've had both the mayors of St. Paul and Minneapolis come paddle with us before. So it's really just all abilities.
Most of the time when you see a paddleboard, it is on a lake. Austin was drawn to the river by his sense of adventure. With adventure comes more risk, but his guides and tour groups are well prepared.
We were really excited to offer this exclusively on the Mississippi River because no one else is doing it. Another reason is because you get to travel a lot further than you do on a lake. Most lakes you'll just do round trips and maybe you'll get a mile or two, and if you really paddle hard. We're covering 6 miles on the water, and so it's a completely different experience. With the current pushing you, the current does a lot of the work and we just guide ourselves down. That being said, there are a lot more dangers and risks to being on the river. With any moving body of water, there's a lot of hazards, and so we do a lot of preparation and we go over a lot of safety training to make sure that people are safe.
So after some instructions on land, it was time for us to get on the water. With reassurances that only about 10% of their customers fall off the board and into the water, we headed out onto the Mississippi. For beginners, Austin recommends staying on your knees until you feel fully comfortable on the paddleboard. After we practiced near the shoreline, we headed out by first fighting the current and crossing the mighty Mississippi River. Austin had a special exploration adventure in store for us. He led us to a place that he normally does not take his average tour.
So today we're going to start off the tour like normal. We'll go over the orientation, paddling demo on land, then we'll just start paddling across the river. Right now we're right above the St. Anthony Falls, so it's kind of a high-risk area. We don't want to get too close to the falls, obviously, but we're going to go across the river to what's called Bassett Creek, and there is a small creek canal that we can paddle inside. So we've got some headlamps, so we're going to go in there and just go exploring.
We spent about 25 minutes under the streets of Minneapolis, exploring the underground Bassett Creek Tunnel. Some of the sights were quite spectacular, and there were signs that others had ventured down this shallow and narrow waterway. Eventually, we headed back towards the light and made it back across the river. If you are looking for a fun, scenic trip down the river with a slice of adventure thrown in, Stand Up Minnesota might be exactly what you are looking for. For North Metro TV News, Ben Hayle reporting.